Hi everybody, Jamie the Board Game Man. In today's episode, we're going to the year 2020 by Gamewright Games. It's a 1 to 5 player game, ages 8 and up. Takes us about 20 to 30 minutes to play. It is called Shifting Stones. Now in this game, you're either shifting the stones or flipping the stones over to match the pattern of the cards you have in your hand for points. Now it depends on how many players are in the game, depends on how many cards you end up getting to trigger the end of the game. So whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. So let's head on over to the gamer's table where I'm going to show you how to play Shifting Stones. All right, here we are at the gaming table, Shifting Stones. Here is the instruction booklet. The instruction booklet actually comes in English on one way, and you flip it over, and it's actually in Spanish as well. So that is the good old instruction booklet. Then you also have the cards that come with the game, and also some reference cards, which is great. The one side will show you like the end game trigger. Whoever has 10 cards in a 2-card game triggers the end of the game. I'll go over this in a moment. It also tells you, when you shift the stones, flip the stones, score a card, it tells you all that on the back. It also will tell you what side is on each side of the stones. So if you see a purple stone like this, all right, you can tell there on the other side is the blue. Just like on the other side of the yellow is a black, orange is red, and then the white is green. So this kind of reminds you what's on the other side of those stones when you're trying to complete your points on your cards. So let's go ahead and go over. There's 5 of them because it's a 1 to 5 player game, so you have 5 of these cards, okay? And then here are the actual cards. Now these are the ones that give you the points. And you can see if you try to get them in arrange the tiles in this kind of format, you get the point on the top. Just like this one is 2 points if you get a blue and a black next to each other, right? And so on, okay? That's how that works, okay? Then you have the good old tiles. Here they are. These tiles are phenomenal. I absolutely love these tiles. They're cardboard, but they're really good. They're really nicely done. I love the way they feel awesome. So let me go ahead and put this aside. Actually, nice insert. And they're not too deep either. They have it where you can actually put your fingers in there and get them out of there, which is nice. You're not trying to tip it over like this to try to get it out. All right, so very, very nicely done. Even on the insert, sometimes you got to bring out the insert too, because sometimes, inserts can be a pain in the butt sometimes. But that one is not. So here what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and lay out the 9 tiles in a 3x3 grid, like so. I'm going to go place them anyhow, any which way you want. Okay, just like so. And you can see that some of these tiles, like this one, there's only 1 of these. And you see there's only 2 of these, 3 of these, and 3 of those. So you can tell that if you try to get some of these tiles that are only 1 tile or 2 tiles, you're probably going to get a few more points for them. Just because it's a little harder because you only have 1 tile to move around instead of 3 that you can move around, okay? Okay, so the object of the game is you're wanting, obviously, the most points at the end of the game. Now, like I said, it depends on how many players you have in the game. So you look at the back of the card here, and it says End Game Trigger. So if you have a 2-player game, once you receive 10 of these cards, then it triggers the end of the game, and everyone makes sure they get the same amount of turns. If you have a 3-player game, to 9, and then a 4-player game, whoever has 8 cards, and then 5 players get 7 cards, and that triggers the end of the game. Okay, so what we're going to do is each player is going to start off with 4 cards in their hand. So we'll do a 3-player here. So we'll do 1 player here. This player gets 4 cards, and then this player gets 4 cards here. Okay, you're going to have a draw pile right here, or you can put it up here, whichever you want to do. Okay, and then you'll have a room for a discard pile when you discard the cards. Okay. So I'm going to be the first player. I'm going to go ahead and look and see what we got. So you can see I have a white and green. I have a green and white, which is great. And the good thing about these is if you look here on the reference card, the green and white are what are on top of each other. So that's what's on top of each other. So that you want to keep in mind as well. Then you have an orange and green, and then I have a red and purple that we're going to try to do here. Okay. So I'm going to look at my reference card, and I'm going to check it out. And the one that has the dark reference card is the first player. That's how you donate the first player in this game, because you can see on the other cards, they are a lighter gray, okay? So each player is going to get one of these, and whoever has the dark one is the first player. That's how you figure out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these and say, okay, I have a white here. And let's see, can I get a green over here? Let's see if I can get, no, because the greens are pretty separated. That's going to be hard to do. Then I have an orange and green here. Okay, what I can do here is I can try flip that over and I'll get that point for this one. Now, in order for you to make a move, you must discard one of your cards. That's how you move a tile. Either you shift it or you flip it. So nothing's for free. So let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this card here. Okay, I'm going to discard it, and then I'm going to make a move. I can either shift two tiles that are adjacent to each other. You cannot go diagonally. You can go left or right. You can go horizontally and vertically, but you cannot go diagonally. Okay, so I just discarded a card. Okay, I'm going to flip this one over. Now there you have it. There's my orange and green, and I get 1 point. So that's one card that's in front of me. I put that face up in front of me, and that goes towards the total I was telling you about. Okay, how many cards you gather up. So for a 3-player game here, if I get 8 more cards, then I would have triggered the end of the game. Okay? So now I'm going to look and say, okay, do I have any more moves? Well, let's see if I have any more moves here. We've got purple here, but that's red, so that won't work there. Okay, I don't have any green and white next to each other. So I can choose to go ahead and just hang on to these two if I want. Okay? Or I can just go ahead and just discard one of these and move another tile or flip another one, however I want to do it. Let's just say I decide I'm just going to go ahead and keep these two. So I go ahead and say, okay, I'm ending my turn. Okay, my turn is ended. I'm going to go ahead and draw up 2 more cards. You always draw up to 4 cards at the end of your turn. My turn is done. Now it goes over to this player. They're going to look and see what they have here. And look what we got here. We got a white and an orange. So that's a 1-pointer as well. He's got a green and a purple. You got a blue and a black, which is on the other side of this one. Okay. And then you got a blue and a purple here next to each other. So let's just say I'm going to go for this. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this card. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shift these two. Or I can shift these two, it doesn't matter. I got 2 white ones here. So I go ahead and shift like so. There we go. I get the 1 point for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and place that in front of me. And now I have 1 card right there. Then I can decide, okay, what do I want to do here? I'm going to look and see. I got a purple and a blue here. I can flip that over to blue. I'm going to run out of cards, but let's see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this one. And I'm going to decide, I'm going to go ahead and try to flip this one over. So I flip this over to the black moon side. Okay, just like so. All right. So then I just had this card left. Now you can see I'm trying to set this up where all I have to do is flip over this blue, because on the other side of blue is the purple. So what I'm going to do, oh, actually, I'm sorry, on the other side of the purple is the blue. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. See, blue is on the other side there, so that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to go ahead and hang on to this. And then my turn is over, so I'm going to go ahead and grab 3 more cards to bring myself back up to 4. Okay? Next player does the same. Now let's just say you look at your cards, and you say, you know what, I just don't see anything. I just don't see anything. I want to get a couple more cards. What you can do is you can pass. Okay? Let's just say I pass. I don't want to play any cards. You would draw 2 more cards from the deck, and now you have 6 cards in your hand. Now, the rule with that is you cannot do that back-to-back times. Okay? You can do it a few times. You can do it as many times as you want in the game. Okay? But you cannot do it back-to-back. So, for instance, if he passed here, I played, he would have to play these cards. He would not be able to pass again and get 8. So he can play as many of these cards as he wants. So you can see there's a little bit of an advantage. If you pass, then you have more cards to play, but then again, you don't score any points that round either. So kind of depends on, you do have to have like you kind of want to keep track of the point spread. If you're too far behind, maybe skipping might not be the best idea, but maybe you have a 3-pointer that you're trying to maneuver. But then again, you have 2 other players moving tiles around at the same time too. So your strategy might not work. So you never really know. And I think that's why I think the more players in this game, the better. Because I think it's the more frustrating it gets, because you got more tiles shifting and flipping than you would if you just have a 2-player game. That's my take on it. But anyway, that's how you play the game. So you're going to keep playing. You're going to keep getting cards into your stacks here. And like I said, As soon as you reach that card limit, depending on how many players are in the game, that triggers the end of the game. And also, when it comes to the scoring, whoever has the most 1-point cards. So you're going to see, okay, I have this. Let's just say this player had a few cards out here, like so. Okay, like this. Okay, of course, you're going to have more cards than that, but whoever has the most ones gets a 3-point bonus. So you want to remember that. So that can become a big deal. I have actually won a couple games like that where I've actually had the most 1-pointers, jumped up my score 3 points, and end up winning the game. So whoever has the most 1-point cards in the game gets that 3-point bonus. And in case there is a tie, now say I had 3 1s, he had 3 1s, he had 2 1s, then each one of us would get the 3 points. And if there's 2 or more players that have the same amount of points at the end of the game, they share the victory. Once it's triggered, say I was the one that finished, well, I'm the first player, so this player and this player is going to get one final turn, all right? And then whoever has the most points at that point wins the game. And that, my friends, is Shifting Stones. Let's head on over to the game room, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts on Shifting Stones. I absolutely love this game. Love, love, love this game. I have to give kudos to Babs. She is one of my subscribers who I became really good friends with. We play this on BoardGameArena.com. We'll call it BGA. They actually just put this on their website, and she had mentioned it to me. I hadn't heard anything about it. She goes, hey, there's a game on here called, Shifting Stones. I started playing it. I really absolutely love it. And I'm like, okay. So I went on there and started playing it, and oh my gosh. It is so much fun. It is fun to play. So right off the bat, giving that a thumbs up on the thumb meter. What's great about this game is even when you have more players, now you can play one player, there's a solo mode to it, and 2 players is okay. You can play with 2 players, but I think if you get 3 to 4 or even 5 players, I know I played up to 3 players online. I have not played it physically because I literally just got this game. So I haven't actually physically played it as of yet, at least at the time of this video being shot. But I have played a good handful of games online, and we had 3 players going, and I think it was a little more fun with the 3 players, because you're trying to situate the tiles in a certain way where you're getting points off those cards. But if you have 2 other players shifting stones and flipping stones over, you're like, oh no, don't move it. But then sometimes they move it perfectly. We're like, yes, that's a free point. Bink, And I do like the aspect of whoever has the most 1-point cards gets the 3-point bonus. I have actually won a couple games like that, where I actually was like, I think 2 points down, but then I had the most 1-point cards and got that 3-point bonus and ended up winning the game. So that it was a pretty cool little thing too. That way you're not really full on avoiding the 1-point cards, because you try to, next thing you know, you have 2, 3, 4. Like, oh, you know what? I might just go for that 3-point bonus at the end if you're keeping the game pretty close. So I love the way the tiles are in here. I love the way, and I'll show you one of them right here again. I know you just saw them, but I love the way they have little indentations on them. If you look really close, see the way the indentations on them. And it's solid. It's awesome. I mean, these things are awesome. You can see you can feel the indentations on them. These are really awesome. They did an awesome job on these. Great job, Gamewright. Which Gamewright usually does anyway. I do like Gamewright games. I do enjoy their games. So they do a great job. And they're fun. They're very easy to learn. And like I said, there's a lot of strategy involved when you're trying to, okay, do I want to move that one last tile to try to set up my next move? But that might give away what my next move is. And the next player might move that tile intentionally, just knowing that I'm trying to set something up. Great game. Great game. Highly recommend if you haven't realized that already. And that is my review of Shifting Stones. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, hopefully you'll give me a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe today. Doesn't cost anything. It's absolutely free. Love those subscribers. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and happy gaming!